something isn't right. The crypto markets are full of fear and worry right now. And that's because just yesterday, we were anticipating seeing some very bullish news come out of the US that just never arrived. So what the hell is going on? Well, in this video, I'm going to identify the reasons why I think we are yet to see that news arrive, and I'm going to tell you which altcoins I would be selling if I was you. So, do me a favor, hit that like button. Let's get into today's video. Now guys, diving across and looking at the Bitcoin chart, many people are a little bit scared right now of what's going to happen, and quite rightly. This chart doesn't look amazing, particularly with this big candle wick towards the upside showing huge selling pressure arriving in the markets yesterday, particularly because we didn't get the news event that many people were hoping to see. So what was that? Well, we were expecting Donald Trump to make one of his priorities creating a Bitcoin strategic reserve for the US. And that never happened. In fact, he didn't mention anything to do with crypto at all, and we're all a little bit hurt by it. Also, there was absolutely no mention of freeing Silk Road founder Ross Ulbricht, one of them, who's been in prison since like 2013. He's basically like a representative of decentralization and crypto, and previously Donald Trump has promised to free him on day one of him being in the White House, and yet it didn't happen. So what the hell? Well, in my opinion, this is a strategic play. Okay, why? Because all of us have anticipated that when Donald Trump gets into office, it's going to be good for crypto because he's going to start to throw all these positive news items out there. There's quite clearly market manipulation going on in the space right now that is designed to stop everybody getting involved at the same time. In fact, what they want to do is instill a bit of fear and panic in people thinking that maybe this bull market isn't what it was supposed to be in the first place. So just yesterday, there was rumors floating around that someone had leaked a document from Donald Trump stating that he was going to bring in a Bitcoin strategic reserve, which is why the price then shot up really aggressively, only to then find out that it actually never came about. It was never mentioned. Does this sound familiar to you? Well, I want you to think back to around this time last year when our old friend Gary Gensler had to make this tweet in response to someone posting that the Bitcoin ETF had been approved. The SEC Twitter account was compromised and an unauthorized tweet was posted. The SEC has not approved the listing and trading of spot Bitcoin exchange traded product. Around this time, we saw the Bitcoin price shoot up. It then came back down. This is, I believe, a planned move to make us feel less certain about something that fundamentally is certain. I mean, Donald Trump's just launched a meme coin, as has his wife. He's created a crypto company with his entire family, which just goes to show his full intent of what he plans to do within crypto. And up until yesterday, we were all dead certain that this was going to happen. So what do you do if everyone's thinking in the same direction and doing the same as the smart money? The smart money has to get even smarter and has to make you think that they're not planning on doing that in the first place. And that's why we didn't sell off probably like we should have done. Because yesterday, while they failed to tell us about that news, we know it's going to come. When it's going to come, we're now not sure. This now means that they can make a move based on us panic selling and being fearful like I've seen many people being today. And simply what this looks like to me is we have previous resistance here. We've gone above previous resistance. We've come down and we've now started to find support at previous resistance. What I would anticipate happening now is a move further up from here. Now, what could be a catalyst for this? Well, there's a tweet circulating around that Ross Ulbricht will be freed. Also, Angela McArdle, President Trump's staff, just confirmed to me Ross's pardon will be issued late tonight or tomorrow morning. But remember, this might not yet be priced into the market because yesterday we felt like it was guaranteed that he was going to say certain things on the first day that he didn't do anymore. I think they're trying to keep us guessing, trying to keep us keen as to what happens next. But in my opinion, there is nothing that we should be too concerned about. And you're like, yeah, okay, fine. Bitcoin seems to be fairly steady, but the altcoins I'm holding have been bleeding like crazy. So what the hell should I do? Well, here's the thing about altcoins. Smaller cap altcoins particularly are way more volatile. You've probably been told in the past. So when there's fear and panic in the market, a lot of people start to sell up coins. But because in Bitcoin there's a massive market cap, the people who get easily panicked and scared at these times don't really have any impact on the price too much, but they do, however, have an impact on the price of smaller cap coins. So simply what we see is smaller caps getting pushed down harder because of what others out there would call scared weak hands, okay? I would just call them inexperienced hands, because if you turn crypto into being like macho, like diamond hands, the tough guys and whatever, then you'll just end up being a bag holder all the way down to the bottom of the bear market, and there's nothing that macho about being poor. So if you're inexperienced and you've been panic selling coins right now, allow me to tell you whether you should be panic selling certain coins or whether you should just be holding on to them. Because there are coins I would probably think about panic selling, okay? Based off of what I'm going to show you now. Now, when it comes to the larger caps, the SUIs, the XRPs, the Cardanos, you're probably not that worried about them because many of them really haven't come down that significantly. I mean, Sui's come down 15, 16%. That's probably not caused you to panic too much. Most people aren't really getting panicked too much about this. Same detail with XRP. It's had a little bit of a correction, but nothing too crazy. And like Ondo, for example, Ondo has come down a whopping 48, 50%. It's currently down around 39%. Should you be panic selling out of Ondo from this current price? Well, here's the problem about panic selling and why you probably aren't wanting to sell. And that's because you don't know whether or not this coin will go up tomorrow. Because let's say you go and sell all your cryptos, and this is probably going to be typical if you do, and Donald Trump just drops down, we're going to open up a strategic reserve for Bitcoin, and suddenly everyone's like, oh God, I shouldn't have got rid of that. And then the whole market goes crazy. And then you're forced to buy in up here after getting out down here. Okay, so there will be people out there who got shaken out of Ondo down here, who ended up having to buy up here, and now they're in an even bigger world of pain. But you get the picture, right? So how do I know whether or not I should be holding Ondo, for example, rather than another one? Is it because Ondo is a really interesting, useful project? Well, that could play a part. But ultimately, when it comes to utility coins, which is anything that's not a meme coin, then I'm about to make it very easy for you, okay? It's not so much about the project as it is about the price action. This is called price action, where it goes up and down. So if you want to look at these charts, and I recommend you start learning a little bit about charts, at least you go to tradingview.com. It might not look like this, but you just have to play around, follow a tutorial on YouTube. There's probably a million that are like 2 minutes long showing you how to get this set up. Anyway, the price action is very key because ultimately we're identifying a coin that is showing strength versus a coin that is showing weakness. So I ask you, would you say that this coin right now is showing strength or weakness? Many people, I'm sure, will tell you that it's showing weakness because it's been trending down a little bit. But if we were to zoom out, you would have to say that Ondo has been putting in higher lows, okay? Higher lows each and every time. And in fact, it's been putting in these higher highs, okay? Yes, it kind of goes down for a big correction there, but ultimately, if I was to draw like this, you would say that Ondo is in a longer term uptrend, which means that it is a strong coin, okay? While it has seen recent downside action, this is a coin that I would personally, this is obviously not financial advice, go and do your own research. This is a coin that I would personally identify from this chart pattern alone, without thinking about the fact it's partnered with BlackRock. It's a real world asset token, which will have an incredible run at some point in this bull market. And, you know, it's one of the most popular coins out there once people start talking about it again. Just from the price action alone, I would hold my tokens in this. And in fact, if I had the opportunity and I had the money available, I would buy more. Why? Because if I was silly enough, and we know that some people were, to get caught up buying up here thinking that it's just going to carry on forever, we learned this lesson, right? I'm not picking on you, but we learned this lesson. Then let's say I bought $100, it pulls back into this zone, a whopping 50, let's say just now it's down 40%, so I've now got $60. If I add another like $30 here or another $40 so that I've got $100 of value down here, I've now spent what, $140. It comes back up here and I'm now in profit back at these highs, $20. It might not sound like much, but you get the theory, okay? This is basically what you should be doing. So this is a good example. This is a coin that it's worth holding or DCAing into, because whenever the market gets running again, and it's probably going to be sooner rather than later, Ondo will send it. I'm so confident that Ondo will send it, okay? Go and look at other videos around about Ondo and you'll understand a little bit more about what it's about. Now, there's going to be some other coins that are way more volatile, that people are like, well, yeah, but you've been talking recently about this coin Sensei. Should I be holding Sensei? Well, if you've already gone and bought it, then you know what this coin is, okay? It's an AI crypto project where you can create a AI version of yourself, okay? Which is quite cool. Could be used for various different functions. Go and look at the website, check it out, okay? This isn't about the individual projects right now. This is about having a look at the price action and identifying a strong project versus a weak project. And you're going to tell me right now, is this a strong project or a weak project? And the answer to this, I think, despite the fact it's shown this aggressive sell-off, is this is still technically a strong project. It showed incredibly good ability to pump when the market was hot. The market will get hot once more. Therefore, I would anticipate that the project that showed good ability to pump during a hot market will do so once more. Correct? This, again, while it is a big kind of a sell-off, still is a higher low. Okay, it's still in an uptrend of sorts, right? I guarantee The moment you end up selling a coin that has been this volatile this recently, you're going to be very sad, because there's a chance it gets picked up and put on a YouTube video. There's a chance that they kind of suddenly run marketing, or there's a chance that something else happens. This simply got sold off very quickly because lots of people were propping this up, buying the top up here, getting very hyped up and excited, who are maybe a bit inexperienced. Price comes down, everyone panic sells, and that has a huge impact on a small market cap coin. Okay, so this, in my opinion, is safe. So what would invalidate it? How would I know whether or not it's time to sell? Well, let me give you another option to look at here. This is a coin. It's a deep in compute platform. On paper, back last year, it seemed pretty promising. Okay, I talked about it on my YouTube channel once or twice. Never said that I held it. Didn't hold it because I was more about AI compute power rather than just general compute power. Okay, which is why I focused towards Aether, IO.net. As you can see, had a pretty aggressive sell-off through here. Now, why has this sell-off? I'm not going to speculate. Okay, this usually can happen because the market is just not ready. There's not enough liquidity to support new projects. Not only that, you get vesting happening for the VCs who've been invested, and if there's not volume, the vesting will tend to get sold off, and potentially selling pressure coming out of the team. Who knows? Okay, and this to me is a perfect example of where I would consider taking profits. You can see back here, if you were still in the coin, then yeah, you can see volume suddenly returns. All of a sudden, gaming wakes up and it pumps a whopping 165%. But as you can see right this second, gaming is struggling to maintain these highs. Okay, it's not showing any particular ability to rally beyond and put in higher highs. A higher high would be if this peak here had come back above this one. You can see that this is a high, this is a lower high, this is a lower high, and you can see that this is still trending down. And it's had perfect opportunity to be able to rally back above that. Now, I'm not saying that this can't fully recover into the future. Maybe it can. Okay, but from what I see here, this is showing no ability to show any particular sign of strength. Therefore, in this situation, if you've held on to dear life to this area right now, but in any coin that's just really started to fizzle and showing really limited ability to find any volume, then I personally might consider cutting my losses here. Now, many of you will be like, oh, you can't sell on the dip. Guys, I get it. I understand what you're saying. Selling on the dip means you realize the loss. But if there is no chance, or a very limited chance, of seeing a recovery on this coin or any other coin, then you're far better off taking the money that you've got left, even if you've got $50 left from your $1,000 investment, taking that $50 and moving it into something that's more than likely going to see at least some upside in the coming months. Okay, Ondo, for example, let's say Ondo goes and does a 4x or a 5x in this bull market, and you put $50 into it. Well, that $50 turns into $200, $300, whatever. On the flip side, if you left $50 in a coin that looks like it's going to its death and could well end up going to its death, then you're left with nothing, right? And just to make it as simple as possible, okay, Medicaid, you can see, has had a pretty healthy correction after this pump towards the upside, down 45%, okay? But what do I know about it? Well, it's got recently the ability to put in higher highs, okay? This is showing a significant amount of strength. This is showing strength towards the upside. It's having a correction that's still way above recent lows, kind of down here. It's still 330% up to those lows there. It's just because it got very much in the spotlight, 7 or 8x in the spotlight, in fact, that it kind of ended up here. Okay, so in my opinion, Medicaid looks very strong. This is just selecting a few at random. Okay, the list goes on, guys. You can simply just zoom out on the daily chart. Okay, click on D and just see, are we in a down or are we in an up? If the answer is we're in an up, there's a very good chance that the coin that you're trying to go and panic sell out of is actually a coin that you should maybe be loading up on. On the flip side, if you just have a chart that is going down, 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 down and not showing any signs of any recovery, particularly as through the autumn and into like November, December, the markets were really good and actually a lot of coins should have been showing some sort of excitement, then for me, I'm just going to cut my losses. Okay, who cares? Maybe one day this coin or any other coin wakes up and goes crazy, in which case, happy days. Good for the people who stayed in and had the patience, but I don't have the patience, particularly if they're looking that weak. Here's another one, my lovely coin, right? It pulled back 53%, right? 53% it went down, and then within a single day, it rallied back up 46%. 2 or 3 days after that, it's up 75%. If you waited for like another week or so, it gets back up to 113%. Okay, this is very similar to Sensei, right? Sensei has pulled back. It's come back down a little bit harder, 67%, and then, you know, it's ready to maybe go into the next rally towards the upside at any given time. Okay, hopefully that's helped you in identify whether or not you should be cutting your losses or whether you should be keeping hold of coins. Okay, just remember, look for the strength, zoom out, and everything's going to be okay. Now, guys, over the last few weeks, I've been incredibly active over on Twitter. So make sure you go across and give me a follow over on Twitter. It's houseofcrypto3. Why? Because over here, I'm updating a lot more regularly about what's happening. I'm also talking about different coins and things that I'm personally investing in and other key pieces of alpha. So if you want to identify the different coins that I'm going to talk about on my videos, particularly this week when I'm going to start talking about coins that I would be recommending to my friends, then get across, give me a follow on Twitter. Also, do me a favor, go and give Perceptron Network a follow, because this is my own personal project. We're about to announce a few huge partnerships, and this coin is going to be going live in the next couple of weeks via fair launch. So if you want to be able to get in early to that, again, you're going to need to go across to Twitter, give me a follow, give Perceptron Network a follow as well. You can see it here, and you're good to go. Guys, hope you enjoyed that, found it useful. Do me a favor, hit the like button, stop panicking. Long run, we're good. Who knows what happens day to day, okay? Just relax. This bull market will carry on ahead of us. I know it's stressful, but if you can endure this, times are soon going to be very good. Subscribe. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.